You step into the sun-blasted silence of the Southwest, where the wind whispers secrets in a language you'll never understand. The rocks are jagged, the ground dry as bone, and every shadow hides the memory of warriors who lived, bled, and killed for survival. This isn't just a desert, it's a crucible. And now, for the next 24 hours, you're supposed to survive here, with the Apache. No gear, no comfort, just you, and a people forged by war, spirit, and an unforgiving land. Can you truly survive a single day among the most feared warriors of the American frontier? Let's find out. The Apache weren't made, they were born into hardship. From the moment their lungs first drew breath, they were tested by dust, drought, and danger. An Apache child learned to ride before they could properly walk, to track before they could write their name, and to survive without complaint, hesitation, or weakness. There were no lullabies, only war songs and silence. Imagine your first day with them. At dawn, the camp is already stirring. There's no tent, no coffee, and no rest. The warriors rise with the sun, faces carved with discipline. You're not greeted, you're observed, judged. A slow nod might be the closest thing to a welcome you'll get. They've seen what soft looks like, and it doesn't last long out here. A young Apache doesn't cry when they're hungry, they find food. They don't complain about heat, they endure it. You? You flinch at a cactus thorn, stumble over loose stone, and blink too much in the sun. Every weakness you show tells them you won't last. The Apache way of life is not about thriving, it's about enduring. Honor is survival, weakness is death, and you've brought both with you. Your stomach's already turning. The morning meal? A strip of dried venison, tougher than leather and twice as dry. Water? Carried for miles from a hidden spring you'd never find alone. There are no second helpings. This is all you get. Then the training begins, but not the way you know it. An elder leads you into the arid hills. He doesn't speak, he points. Track that rabbit, find that snake. Move like the wind, or be seen. You try, you fail. The prints vanish in hard soil. The snake you realize is venomous and angry. You fall, you bleed. He doesn't help you. No one does. This is your test, not just of skill, but of soul. The Apache believe in balance between man and earth, body and spirit. You're not just being trained, you're being watched, by ancestors, by animals, by the land itself. If your spirit is weak, the earth will know, and it will punish you. A boy your age walks beside you. He's 12. He hasn't said a word. He already knows everything you don't, and in his eyes, you see it. You are the outsider, and the desert is about to decide your fate. The sun now feels like a blade. It cuts your skin, saps your strength, and turns the air into fire. But to the Apache, the land is not an enemy. It is a warrior, a companion if you respect it, a killer if you don't.
Every rock is a memory, every plant is a tool, or a weapon. The yucca root becomes soap, the mesquite pod becomes food, the cholla cactus becomes both shield and trap. The Apache know this land like you know your phone screen, intimately, instinctively. But you're blind. The trail they follow disappears before your eyes. They read signs in crushed grass, smell shifts in the wind, and hear things you can't even name. You stumble, again. Then comes the fire drill. You're handed 2 sticks. Make flame, says a warrior, his voice hard as obsidian. You rub, you sweat, the sun dips. No fire. The cold creeps in. Still, they say nothing. Because here's the truth. The land has no pity. Neither do the Apache. And in this place, fire is not warmth. It is life. You fail to make it, and the night will take you. By now, the heat has broken you. But the Apache? They haven't even slowed down. The midday hunt begins. Not for sport, not for meat to hang in some refrigerator, but because if you don't kill, you don't eat. You're handed a crude bow. No sights, no stabilizers, no modern nonsense. Just a wooden arc and a cord drawn tight, with memory and muscle. Beside you, a warrior crouches, his breath steady, eyes locked on the movements of a jackrabbit in the distance. You watch, you aim, you miss. He doesn't laugh. He just walks on. To the Apache, every kill is a ritual. You must ask permission from the animal's spirit, thank it with your heart, and waste nothing. But even before all that, you have to earn the kill. And right now, you haven't earned anything. Hours pass, hunger gnaws like a knife in your belly, your water's almost gone. Then, movement. A desert quail, small but quick. This time, you don't hesitate. You lose the arrow. It hits, not the bird, but the dirt beside it. The bird flies. Gone. The warrior next to you doesn't speak. He drops a single dried locust into your hand. "That's dinner," he says. "This is no game." Out here, killing isn't a thrill. It's the price of staying alive. As dusk settles, the mood shifts. The Apache aren't just survivors, they are hunters. And not just of animals. They've fought the Spanish, the Mexicans, and the Americans. They've vanished into the cliffs only to reappear like shadows with knives. And tonight, they test you again. They scatter into the scrubland, one by one. Hide, don't be found until morning. That's your only instruction. You crouch behind rocks, trying to slow your breath. The wind whistles through the canyons, dry and sharp. Every sound becomes a threat. Twigs snapping, sand crunching, heart pounding. Then, silence. Then, a whisper. And suddenly your arm is behind your back, your face in the dirt. A teenage Apache girl, no older than 15, has pinned you like a hunted deer. She lets go and vanishes without a word.
You left footprints. You breathed too loud. You forgot the most important rule. Out here, you trust nothing. Not the darkness, not the silence, not even the still air.
The Apache don't just hide, they disappear. They don't chase you, they become the land.
By the time dawn breaks, you haven't slept. You haven't eaten. You've barely breathed. And still, the real test hasn't begun. The stars above aren't comforting. They are cold, sharp, and watching. Night in Apache land is not a time to rest. It's a time to listen, to feel, and to prepare. You sit in a ring of warriors around a low, flickering flame. There are no stories, only silence. Then, the howl. A coyote, maybe, or something else. You freeze. They don't. One of the warriors stands, bow in hand, and vanishes into the brush like smoke. The others remain still. A lesson brews in the silence. Sleep is a luxury. Here, it's dangerous. Because while you sleep, others hunt. The Apache were masters of night raids. Their feet knew every inch of the terrain, even in darkness. They struck camps, forts, and caravans, and vanished before the victims even realized what had happened. The night was their cloak, their weapon. You try to stay awake, but your body is broken. Your eyes betray you. You drift. And when you wake, your knife is gone, taken from right beside you. The warrior across the fire holds it up without a word. You didn't notice. You didn't hear. And in a real raid, you'd already be dead.
Morning doesn't bring mercy. It brings consequences. You marched into the canyon. No explanation, just hard eyes and harsher silence. One warrior points to a distant shape, an effigy made of straw and bark, shaped like a man, hidden among boulders 100 paces away. A mock enemy. You're handed a bow again. One shot. You draw, you breathe, you fire. It arcs wide, misses completely. They don't shout, they don't scold. One warrior walks to the straw figure, stabs it through the chest, then walks back past you without a word. The message is clear. Miss once, die once. Apache warriors didn't have the luxury of failure. In battle, hesitation meant death. Poor aim meant a lost brother. Weakness meant the slaughter of your family. Precision wasn't talent, it was survival. They didn't fight in rows, they fought from behind rocks, from cliffs, and from shadows. They knew the land so intimately that they became ghosts in it. They didn't give warnings. They gave death. Swift, silent, final. You made one mistake. In the wild, that's all it takes. And the Apache, they've already decided. You wouldn't have lasted one sunrise in war.
As your 24 hours come to a close, your body is battered and your pride buried. But the Apache, they stand unchanged. To you, death is a fear. To them, it's a familiar companion.
Warriors would charge into battle singing their death songs, not to mock fate, but to greet it. They weren't suicidal. They were ready. Always. An elder sits with you now. He hasn't spoken all day. Finally, he breaks the silence. We do not run from death. We ride to meet it. He nods toward the horizon, where the wind kicks up dust and memory.
Their ancestors rode without hesitation. Women fought with blades. Children knew how to vanish into the hills. Every Apache was a warrior, not by choice, but by demand. Because the world didn't give them peace. It gave them persecution, betrayal, and bloodshed. And they answered not with tears, but with arrows. You came here to survive. They live here to conquer. In the Apache world, fear is a guest you kill before nightfall. Pain is a friend you eat with. And death is just another trail you learn to walk. You thought surviving 24 hours with the Apache was about endurance. But it was never just about the body. It was about spirit, honor, and a connection to the earth deeper than roots. Think you could have made it? Let us know below. And if you want to face more untold trials of history, subscribe and stay sharp.